Hello, world. Hello. Do you know I'm shaking? I'm shaking my anti-negativity crystal. Boom. Hello. Terry James here, mindset coach and digital entrepreneur. I'm on a mission to help as many people as I can level up in mindset, know about holistic practices so they can be the best versions of themselves, and get fit, get healthy, and get wealthy using this thing you're watching on right now. So I'm live in LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, no Instagram today, so I won't be looking down very often. And the reason I'm not on Instagram today is because I'm going live very shortly, and I'll do it whilst you're on here with me, into Twitter Spaces and into Clubhouse rooms. So I need to actually get an extra spare phone so that then I can do, well, in time, I'm going to need to do TikTok as well as Instagram. So I'm actually going to need two phones. And look at these bad boys. I got these bad boys to get them up either side of me. So I've got this kind of like this weird omnipresence thing going on in the studio. So how are you? It is Tuesday morning, and it's a surprise for you guys, my pedigree chums, because I don't often go live before 12 o'clock. As a rule, before 12 is my time. But I'm trying to do things a bit differently. No, not trying. I'm doing things a bit differently. And I'm getting up earlier in the day, actually eating a bit of fiber, a bit of breakfast in the form of a Weetabix. Who likes Weetabix? If you like Weetabix, chuck us up what you like on your Weetabix. I've seen some weird and wonderful things on Weetabix over the years. No more weirder than what I've been seeing recently. And not only on Weetabix, just in the world, right? So what am I out here today to speak to you guys about? Well, mindset and money programming, or I think actually the caption is money and mindset reprogramming 22. 22, why? Well, I want to talk to you about programming, first of all, but more importantly, towards the end, we can talk about the reprogramming and the birth of self-awareness and what we can actually do about it. So before I get into that, I'm going to go live in the rooms. Start room, start room. Hello, audio rooms. Hello, Clubhouse. Hello, Twitter Spaces. First time I've ever been on Twitter Spaces. So, hello, everybody. And hello, if you're on there, throw us up some love, throw us up a comment so I know that you're there and I can say hello to you. I am Terry James. I'm a mindset coach and digital entrepreneur. Today, I'm talking to you guys about money and mindset reprogramming 22 because there's a lot going on right now. There's some crazy shit happening in the world. And I think it's about time that some people that are hypnotized need to know how you got hypnotized in the first place, because we've all been programmed or subjected to influence at some point. Hello, Anishka. Hello, my darling. It is lovely to have you on. What are you up to today? I'm also going live from my laptop, not only on audio rooms down here in Twitter and Clubhouse, but we're in 5 pages and groups on the Facebooks, on the Meta, and we're in Linky, YouTubies, and Twitteries. So I'm actually going live in audio rooms and on Twitter Spaces. No, Twitter and Twitter Spaces at the same time. So that's cool. On all platforms. No, not all. There's actually shitloads of new ones, actually. I won't name some of them, but there's actually like a load of new ones. I'm on a mission to help as many as people as I can level up in holistic mindset, get fit, get healthy, and get wealthy online, knowing how to monetize or to use digital assets moving forward. Because if I was still if I was still a mechanic back in my early 20s, if I was still running pubs for 20 years of my life, and if I was in Spain still in the hospitality trade, I'd be fucking screwed. I'd be screwed like no. Looking really fit. Actually, I'm slumming it today. I'm in my hoodie. Thank you for saying that, actually. I'm not clean shaven. Well, I never am, but say trimmed. I'm not clean shaven. It is about time that I had a shave, and I will get there. and I've got my university hoodie on, and that's normally what I wear when I'm going to the gym. And that is the plan. After this, I am going to be going to the gym. I've had a little bit of a knee injury recently. Anybody that wants to see my own fitness journey, get down to Terry James on Facebook. You can find it by going to at Bretsy77. That's the business stroke fan page. There's no restrictions there for the amount of people that can go on. So BRETSI 77. If you leave off the 77, it actually takes you to my personal page, which you can follow anyway. But what I would really like, go and give those a like. But what I would really like is to welcome people into the personal freedom movement. That is a private group of mine, and you get behind the scenes access to some of the content, some trainings, which I'll do around hypnotherapy, mindset, and things to do with personal branding and digital entrepreneurship. So essentially, it's, there's some of the tools that I will learn from my mentors and trainings from certain businesses that I'm involved with. We then deliver them back to you guys. So if you're in a multi-level marketing, if you've got product or service, or if you're a healer and you want to utilize this digital space, there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of stuff coming up now, and hasn't things changed quite drastically in the last year anyhow? But if you want to see the fitness journey that I went on up to a couple of days ago, up to the new year, I shedded 5 kilos. I'm well on my way to having a 6-pack in the abs department. It wasn't an easy challenge, but that isn't what this is about. But you will get more insights and basically the breakdown of that, what the plan was, what I actually did, what stopped me, and how I can help other people moving forward, essentially. So my background, thank you for the love there on Facebook, and thank you very much, Starshine, my holistic goddess from across across Facebook. She's going boxing tomorrow, so that's cool. I love boxing as training, as a modality of getting fit. It's actually one of the best disciplines for cardio. I boxed for many years. I come from a boxing family, but with this nose, I could never take it. And actually, I've never been in a fight, so and that's funny because I actually do security work. Used to do doors, now I do a private, well, say it's private. It's a non-profit music venue. So it is kind of private because everything's always sold tickets for. And I help them out as a kind of like a wellness officer, a bit of security. So yeah, quite funny for me to turn around and say I haven't been in a fight. But then, as you probably tell, I'm quite good at talking. So I talk to people, I pick up on vibes. I've got a good vibe, got good energy, and so that's why it suits me. It's the only paid work that I would do, and when I'm not sort of in Spain or traveling, when I'm back there, it's an absolute pleasure. I don't go out socializing that much anymore. I don't drink as a rule now. Maybe have a couple of beers every couple of weeks, or on a special occasion. It just doesn't serve me. As simple as that. So today we are talking all about money and mindset. But if you want to know a little bit more about me, behind the scenes stuff to do with like fitness, health, hypnotherapy, NLP, and I will go into some of that stuff in this session because we're talking about programming and conditioning, and that's what I know a lot of stuff about, and probably quite, I don't even know what I want to say. Quite important to add the bits in of why I went on that journey to make those changes with myself, and what it's allowed me to actually realize and highlight what goes on with other people's language because of the lies that we tell ourselves, the lies and the language that we use, dispowering towards ourselves, let alone other people. So personalfreedom.terrylifestyle.com. That'll take you straight into the personal freedom movement on Facebook, or just go on to Facebook and type in the personal freedom movement with Terry James, and you will find us. There's about 185 of us in there. I'm slowly populating it this week because I've got some special stuff happening. I'm going to launch and talk to people about at the weekend. I'm holding people accountable for their own resolutions, for goals. I've got a plethora of knowledge around the coaching industry, neuro-linguistic programming, my own hypnotherapy journey, as well as practicing as a solution-focused hypnotherapist for 3 years. I haven't worked with one-to-one clients for over a year doing that, but that may change this week because we want to talk about how we can help people. I'm on a mission to help as many people as I can adopt a healthy, holistic mindset and get fit and healthy and wealthy moving forward in this digital age that we're in. So, money and mindset reprogramming. Why do we actually need this? Okay, and what is this money and mindset programming? Well, to be honest, it's talking about your belief systems, what you believe is possible for you, whether you've grown up in scarcity. I'm going to sit back because I'm not having to lean forward today on the little lives down there. I can sit back and get comfy. Yeah, feels weird being back here, actually. I like being up close and personal. So, ever since we were born, we've basically been born into a society. When you go into the personal freedom movement, if you scroll back and have a look at some of the announcements, there'll be that group started 6 months ago as a masterclass group, and the masterclass is how to stay negative. How to stay negative even when you're surrounded by negative people? No, fucking hell. Start again. How to stay positive when you're surrounded by negative people. Because I was talking to quite a few people and from different platforms, and it was like, well, what's holding you back, or what's something that's comes up all the time that is a problem, an issue for you? And most people was how to stay positive or dealing with negativity. So I was like, okay, so we'll do a masterclass around the whys. So we start to understand why people are negative, why we're born into this negative kind of paradigm and this society. Well, essentially it keeps us all on our toes, doesn't it? Because if people are kind of negative, fearful, suffering anxiety, depressions and labels and all these other sorts of things, it's easier to control people. Well, we'll give them, certainly maybe not control, but it certainly gives the people less choices, and a lot of the time we wouldn't make certain choices at the forefront. So then when we sort of have some, let's say, liberties or freedoms taken away from us, then what happens is then we make an informed choice and we go along with the narrative, as it were. For what? For an easy life? Or is it because we're just wanting to fit in and feel like we're being good? Well, that comes back to schooling. Ever since we were babies and children, we would have still had, I believe, and from my paradigm, we are energy beings having a human experience. We are bodies with a soul, not the other way around. And also, I'm in the last sort of 4 years, when I was unplugged from the matrix myself, it opened up my eyes, and it opened up a lot of doors and opportunities for me to actually reach out and help other people, to explain what I know and how I feel. But not a lot of people think or feel that way. I am part of a minority. That's why maybe I could class myself as a bit of a specialist rather than a generalist, because generally a lot of what I've got an opinion on everything, by the way. So that's why I like actually doing Q&As, or standing in front of people and being put on the spot, more so than doing sort of scripted or prepared things, because I do have an opinion on everything, and everybody's welcome to my opinion, because it's just about trying it on for size. So my reality is that we are born into, as energy beings, into this wonderful existence, this wonderful infinite universe with infinite possibilities, and we are creative through our thinking. Whatever we think, whatever we believe, we create. So son of babies, we would have been born into families, and we would have looked up at these families and thought, oh, these are gods, and we've got to copy them and do everything that they're doing, because they're doing it all unaided and I need their help. But you've also got your kinesthetics. You're in probably like a 7D reality then, not even the 5D that we're in now, that when I was growing up you would argue it's 2 or 3D, right? But no, you would have known about the kinesthetics. Kinesthetics is basically feelings, emotions, energy and vibration. So when someone's telling you, yeah, everything's fine, but you can see that they're not fine, you then start questioning your own feelings and the reality that you're in. So we suppress, say, little humans or smaller humans with bigger emotions than what they're giving off. So we'll get them to suppress their emotions to cover up ours. But what it is a lie. So essentially, we're conditioning people for their own protection based upon the lies we tell ourselves to make the truth of our own existence more livable, manageable. Any of those things. If any of those things are making sense to you, throw us up a love heart, throw us up a comment. And if you've got any questions, I am getting the feed through here. There is, under the description, there should be something from StreamYard saying that you click that and you just literally put your name in. I'm not asking you for any details. I'm not asking you for emails or anything. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to have your name and what platform you're actually coming in from. So that's really, really good. And if you're down here, I haven't forgotten about you. Twitter Spaces, my number one audio or first audio in there for you guys. And I've got the Breaking Bad Love. It's Breaking Bad Love on Clubhouse, and also Tell Bretsy. You'll find me under Terry James, Breaking Bad Love with Terry James, because that's the books that I'm planning to complete. Also, it's a bit of an initiative for a movement, Breaking Bad Love of Our Lives. It's also kind of got a little, when you get to know me more, Bretsy Bad Love was an alias of mine, DJ name, a nickname from when I was growing up. But it all gets very confusing. So I kind of wanted to make the Breaking Bad Love more of a, a mantra, a mission, a movement, as it were. So before we move on, and I don't know why this just popped out to me, but I do a bit of channeling and what have you, and something's just tickled me on the back of the neck and pointed me towards the Serenity Prayer. So I want to share with you Serenity Prayer. Cool. Anisha's saying to me, well, I know her as Starshine. Am I saying her name right? Anishka? Can I just say Starshine? She has many names. She is a powerful spiritual being in her own right. So the Serenity Prayer, I first heard about this when I was doing a coaching course. And Serenity Prayer, if you write it down somewhere and live by it and think about the words and install it into your life, it will change your life all by itself. God grant me, or universe, depends on what the term of a deity you tend to use, but grant me, or me, because I believe that we all are one and we all are energy. So in fact, you are God, you are the light. And that's why we need to go within. Otherwise, we go without. And when we go within, that's where everything we need to thrive and be happy resides. And we can create beautiful harmony within ourselves, within our bodies, within our own thinking. Because when we're not doing that, we have a body that's not at ease. And if we're not at ease, we're in dis-ease. And that's when disease, mutations occur, and illness. So through positive thinking, actions and interactions, through going within, by taking a break from your lives, from thinking, you can really level yourself up. So grant me the Serenity Prayer. This is, guys, grant me the peace to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. See, that to me is huge, absolutely huge. We're 18 minutes in and I've not even really got onto the whole money and mindset programming. So we're talking about us as babies. So we're as babies and we're doing what we want to do, and we're very expressive and we communicate. And that also explains why people can have such a connection with their animals. I know personally with my cats and the dogs that I've had, well, I've had one dog and now we've got another dog now. But there is such a thing as this kind of sixth sense going on. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I turned all camp then. A bit of sixth sense, guys. A bit of sixth sense. That could be also being connected to something when you get the heebie-jeebies, when you get a feeling, or don't go down there, or something like you call it your spider senses, whatever you want to call it. But it is an actual thing. Intuition, your guides, guardian angels, what's the other one? Fairy godmother. Do you mean you pick up on things, and that's energy essentially, energy and vibration. So you can pick up on people's energy and vibration. So like children, they might be drawn. Animals certainly are. Animals and children are really drawn. Well, they're drawn to me massively. If there's a baby around in a chair, or if I'm sat in the park or walking, if there's babies and toddlers around, they're drawn to me. They're like this. And it's not because I've got chocolate and dog treats and stuff. No, they're just drawn to me. They're drawn to my aura. They're drawn to my energy. So we then say to children at times, like, why can't you just be good? Or no, you can't have that. Money doesn't grow on trees. And there's all these things that actually then contribute to them having different belief systems or suppressing their emotions. And emotions are energy in motion. And so we have to move, and we have to use and move our emotions to serve us in the best possible way. We can't always do that because we have this thing where we have to suppress them or don't say certain things. You realize how children are so bloody honest, right? And then you'll teach them to say, don't say that because you'll upset someone. So then they learn through their environment that actually they can't tell the truth because it upsets people. So then what they'll do is they'll tell white lies. I grew up as somebody that I was very aware that I would lie about everything up to about my late 20s. Yeah, I don't even know why that was. I think it was probably been running as a publican from the age of sort of 18, 19 up to 37, good 20 years in the pub trade. You lose your inhibitions when you drink alcohol. A lot of the time people are drowning their sorrows for one reason or another. They're suffering with some sort of addiction, but it's also conditioning, because no one when we were growing up were told about the dangers of alcohol and stuff, just that you had to be 18, and that it was, well, I suppose you're just given this idea that it's pretty cool because of you're looking up at people, looking at people that you look up to, mentors, people you aspire to be like. So that has a massive, massive influence over our behavior, the trends, how we talk, what we wear, where we go, what we eat, literally everything. But all of this stuff to do with our mindset, what we believe is possible for us, with money, what we're what you know what we're worthy of and deserving of, whether it be love or wealth or happiness. It's all conditioned through a few different things, through societal trends, through the programs that we watch, the things that we listen to, the people that influence us. And all influence is whatever you pay attention to. I believe, as someone asked me what is love for me, and I sort of went, and then this voice came in my head saying to me, well, it's whatever you're paying attention to, whatever you're contributing to is where you're showing love. And then that starts with yourself. So not a lot of people are that. Well, I actually love it when I know and I'm aware of people that just seem to have all their shit together, that don't seem to be bothered by other people's opinions, that aren't bothered by things that go on. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their own head to see what it is that they say to themselves. They might just be good actors, because a lot of the time people that suffer the most, you wouldn't tell. And then there's other times there's people, maybe like myself, that wears his heart on his sleeve, that doesn't have that much of a filter. I've actually had to have almost a year out from doing lives so that I could have coaching and mentoring to rein it in, because people don't fucking like it. But people love what Starshine's saying here. It's wonderful to be authentic self as a child and adult. Yeah, well, one of my mantras now is to be unapologetically and authentically yourself, and you should be. I've been in the digital marketing space for a few years now, and I've always struggled, and I did struggle for a while with the niching. People were like, "You must niche. If you're in America, it's a niche. You must niche. You must have like a statement of who you can help and why." And I did kind of struggle with that because I was trying to be generous before going, well, okay, everybody needs to learn about this shit. Because I started my digital journey as a hypnotherapist, essentially. And that was because that's what I was studying. I'd been down the road of realizing when I'd stopped drinking and smoking so much bloody weed and taking coke, which were the best days in my life, by the way, because I didn't know any different. I was a DJ, party boy, publican, liked to travel, liked to party, like to have a laugh, like to have fun. And in the last few years, if I'm honest, I haven't done enough of that. Not taking drugs, because I haven't. I mean, just having fun. And life's serious at the best of times. And I was like, fuck. Um, I think that's probably why that's definitely why I like spending time with my nephews, because I'm probably more authentically myself with my nephews, because I feel like I need to be a good role model for them. I enjoy their company. I can be myself. And because they're kids, we've got to have fun. And we'll quite a lot of the time be joking around, playing sports, listening to music, or watching Marvel films, which I love. I don't watch TV anymore because of the conditioning and programming that goes on within programs. I mean, they're called TV programs for a reason, right? And they were very, very well um, clued up on kind of basic psychology, psychotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming wasn't a thing until someone could maybe correct me. I don't think it was a thing until like the 70s. Uh, I'm not sure. I know that basically things have taken over. Things have taken over. There's this decentralization of power and wealth, and also to do with like media and knowledge. So it's being disrupted and decentralized. So as Starshine's rightly put there, love Netflix more than TV. Well, all YouTube is now is basically a TV. It's almost like a library of TV shows or subscription channel. The Netflix and Amazon Prime, they are subscription channels. And there's so many more. Most people now, and I know if I do watch telly and my guilty pleasure, and because it's I was brought up watching soaps with my parents. So whenever I am sort of at nanny's house or around, occasionally I quite like to watch EastEnders and Coronation Street. And I know it's a load of shit. And I know it's not real. And I know that if you lived in either of those places, and if I was going to buy a house and I'd go there and I'd be like, oh my God, so many people die, get murdered, and have accidents in this street. Fuck living here. It would be hilarious. But it's my kind of outlet. I am a critical thinker. I used to always be an overthinker until I sort of discovered hypnotherapy and self-development stuff. uh, because then I knew that why my head was basically a pinball machine going ding 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 ding. It was chaos in there. I always felt like my mind would never switch off. I never stopped thinking. I would ruminate about a situation or conversation with people thousands and thousands of times. And it's only been doing this inner work that I realized and I learned that your mind doesn't actually know the difference. So you could be going to a meeting. Before you go to the meeting, you think about 50 different ways that the meeting's going to be shit. You have the meeting and they often go well and you're fine because you're awesome, right? And you come out the meeting and it's fine, but your brain doesn't know the difference between the one meeting that was the actual reality or the 51 meetings you've had, and 50 of them were bad. And then of course you probably will be wondering, oh, I could have said this better, and oh, did they say that, and what did they think, and oh my God, am I good enough, and all that. And what the hell are you doing to yourself? Really, just do that shit and then move on. It's good to be aware and to sort of go, okay, what could I have done better for the sake of your own self-preservation, or to learn, or to just be mindful. I mean, I do that on lives. I'll do a live and there'll be a couple of things after the live, or if I watch the live back, I'll be like, oh, didn't like that. Okay, I'll do that better in the future. Little things like just looking into the camera, those kind of things. Different now that I'm doing the omnipresence thing. I kind of got to look about a little bit, but in general, makes a big difference when I'm talking to my friend like this about this kind of stuff, rather than looking down or seeming like I'm actually reading off a script or something, or an auto cue. By the way, I do write notes, and occasionally will say, "Oh, I've got notes here," but you can half tell the difference from me just being kind of a cappella with you. So back to the reprogramming and the mindset. So when we're children, we're basically taught conditional love. Um, I argue with parents about this all the time, and I'm like, I don't give a monkeys what you say. You all have a favorite. You're not supposed to say that you do, but you fucking do have a favorite with your kids. And conditional love is a thing. The reason it's a thing is because I like to use the example football players. Your football player scores an own goal, and he is a big bag, a douche, bag of balls, and everyone swears and curses and calls him this and calls him that, and some of it's probably illegal. The trash talk and the scrolling, the trolling, and the anti-scrolling that goes on. But then the next week, the geezer scores a hat trick, does something magnificent and miraculous, and we love him. All is forgiven. We love you. And that's the same as kids, basically. You know, they will pick up on the thing when you go, "Oh, darling, that's lovely. We'll put that in the fridge." You know, what the fuck is this picture? Oh, is that mummy? And it's like, no, that's the dog. And you're, oh, oh, that's nice. But they pick up on that. They do pick up on that. But also, more importantly, we all get rewarded when we're good and we get punished when we're bad. So that's it. And that comes from school because we're all being tested all the time. And if you get close to 100, the better. And whatever you don't do away from 100 is not good enough. Or you get put into classes for your own development and things like that. I was a kid that on all my school reports, it always says that Terry talks too much, or um, kind of like about my attention span. So if we look at certain things like that, and today that's ADHD. And I've worked with when I do hypnotherapy and I pass out my audios to people even now still, because it's about relaxation, about going within and letting go of thinking, raising your level of awareness, reprogramming some of the negative talk and belief systems you have, replacing it with positive stuff, positive statements of truth and power statements, so that that stuff then starts showing up, because your mind is always listening and taking orders from you. Even when you're asleep, your subconscious mind is basically on record. You thought, oh shit, I don't want to lose the battery. Yeah. Oh, crumbs. Sorry, battery just flashed up. There we go. That's better. I won't lose you now. What was I talking about? On the battery. Oh, battery on the phone's going as well. Oh my god, I'm losing it. So our minds are always listening and taking orders from us. And that's like a sponge, essentially. And I know that when I'm watching like stuff like trainings or mentorship, motivational, if someone sort of like, don't do this, our brain doesn't know negatives. So when we say, don't imagine me wearing a pink t-shirt, you imagine me wearing a pink t-shirt. Don't imagine a green fluffy elephant. Green fluffy elephant pops in your head. So when I studied NLP, I had my mind and my heart and my soul opened into knowing about neuro-linguistic programming. And that was when the penny really dropped, that this pinball machine in my head, before I started meditating, doing hypnosis the year before, was all to do with neurons, sorry, neurons firing in my brain. Because neurons fire, and that's thoughts. And then when you have thoughts on repetition, the same thoughts, they'll then create clusters, neuronal clusters, and they'll fire together. And then they'll basically be hardwired and they start firing on their own. So that's your belief systems. That's the way you speak to yourself. That's when you look in the mirror to say, hello, I love you, good morning. And it turns around and calls you a big fat hairy turd and that you're useless. That's what that is. But you can change that stuff through programming, because you can self-program. You can use audios. You can listen to stuff while you're asleep. You can just be aware that you need to do. Yeah. Funny. You can be aware that you. It just makes me laugh at people hacking my. It's on YouTube. It happens all the time. Now I come back to it anyway. You can be aware that you can start reading books, listening to audios, even do things like affirmations, it's expressing gratitude, just shining the light in the light areas rather than the dark, because we all have blind spots and we get trapped. And what our brains will do, like when you go for the interview, it will basically just pick up on old patterns of behavior and thinking, and it will throw that stuff up to you on default because that's what's kept you alive in the past. And so it served you. It's lazy. It's trying to be clever. It's a supercomputer essentially. So it's working for you, but it works against you because not everything that you know and everything that you've ever done is the truth. Beliefs are just strongly felt opinions, and they can change. So sorry, it's funny because someone's put love face XYZ girls here, streamer recommends. So I'm going to block the user, so all of those are gone. So I get that all the time, honestly, guys and girls. Because we've got to do that whole like binary, non-binary, gender neutral, exclusive. Basically, whatever you want to be, that's fine. But if the dog walks in and he barks like a dog, don't fucking have a go at me for patting it and saying what a good boy he is because he didn't come in wearing a pussycat dress and meowing. It's really, really hard in this day and age to get it right, what people want to be known as, called, identified as. So just give us a little bit of a break sometimes, guys, because it's not vanilla and as black and white as everybody thinks. But I'm completely lovingly on your side. I'm completely there. If Geraldine wants to be called Harold, then that's fine. I've got a lot of trans friends. I've actually got a trans family member, a gay family member that I've grown up with since I was young. So I've always been very accepting. And I know that Starshine down here saying demigirl pansexual. So I understand what that is. And correct me if I'm wrong. Pansexual to do with you're attracted to energy. So it could be that you identify as you are a woman, a girl, but then you might meet another girl and you wouldn't say, oh no, I fancy women per se, but you would meet a particular girl, or it could be a boy, and their energy you're drawn towards. And then it means that you want to. I'll say what I was going to say because I don't know if you want to fuck the shit out of them. But you want to have a connection and you want to spend special time with them and do some fun stuff too. It's good exercise, by the way, and very good for your physiology. So I'm a complete advocate for smashing the shit out of, and not in a violent way, for making sensual and consensual, no, I did it right. Sensual and consensual lovemaking, or just for recreational purposes. How did we go down this road? I blame Loveface. Loveface came on. She's hacked into my comments, trying to smutty up this lovely message. Oh, and it brings me, because we are addicted to money, food, and sex, by the way. Of course we are. Completely addicted to money, food, and sex. And that is by design. And what I was going to say is I get on average maybe five, let's just say five invites to whether it be OnlyFans, private porn sites, people's private accounts. I've actually been targeted a couple of times by lady killers, honey potters, where they've basically like had an exchange, got on a call, got a bit smutty, and then tried to turn it round and then try to ask you for money, tokens, Amazon gift cards, those kind of things, or more sinisterly, turn around and say, "I'm actually going to try and discredit you or deplatform you by putting like a conversation or something else online." And I laugh because the history that my history, and I've got no airs and graces, and now that I've actually lost a bit of weight, I don't mind getting my kit off, but obviously can't do it on the platform. Nobody wants to see this. But I worked really, really hard on my mindset and my body, and I never came across as a shy person because most of the time I was pissed, stoned, and off my tits. And it was ego, and so a lot of it actually was ego, actually, as a protection. Where now I do try to be a little bit more slower, a bit calmer, a little more methodical in what I do because I've unprogrammed a lot of those things. Um, I'm chomping on the bit to not. I always say come out, and then people might think I'm talking about like being gay or something, but I'm not. I'm 100% um, so my girlfriend called me metrosexual the other day because of the tight jeans I had on, and I just said, "No, I'm just trying to show my ass off." But yeah, I'm 100% heterosexual. I understand about pansexual because there are people that I meet, blokes, and I'll be like, "Fucking, he's gorgeous." And I'll have no problem with saying that they're a good looking guy, they got a good body, that they're fit, and I think that's cool. um, I've been continuously kind of targeted and abused by gay men my whole life, and that's something that you would not hear me talk about until I go deep into the Breaking Bad love book story. It will be on audios and actually in my private communities, or if you do any work with me, whether or not you join. Affiliate marketing team, whether or not you want to do some of the deep inner work with hypno, reprogramming, joining private group, rub shoulders that way, um, then you will actually find that honesty from me, and I'll come out quite openly and honestly and talk about the experiences that I've had that have made me, broke me, and then made me put myself back together again, essentially. And that comes down to programming as well, programming, conditioning. um, so if if for instance you want to take back control, or there's things that you don't like, then there's are ways to do it. And the ways to do it are by through knowledge, education, through the things you say and do, through your environment, how, through diet, exercise, all these things are completely relevant. So I am very much into my spirituality, and all that means is that cannot be portrayed with words. So you could argue the fact I'm religious. Okay, I don't believe in a religion. I don't believe in a God. I believe that we are the one. We all are one, and we are all energy. So what I am aware of now through neuro-linguistic programming was the conditioning and programming that had led me to be the person that I was. That was that glamorized gangster and that kind of oh, I don't know what the word, but maybe like the crime element and like mafia and gangsters, and it's kind of glamorized. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Good one. Glamorizing those kind of things. Glamorizing the fact of well, money, food, and sex. Glamorizing those things through conditioning, through family members, through people that influence you, for people that you look up to, and you think, oh yeah, that's cool. And that's kind of what happened to me watching horror movies, TV. All these things are all contributing to the programming, and which are keeping you stuck or that are fanning your flames. So never turn down your flame, by the way. I did for a while, and basically what I needed to do was let go of those people. Because basically, if you don't turn down your flame, if people aren't fanning your flames, you need to shine as bright as you can so that people can follow you. But if people aren't fanning your flames, they're pissing on them. So grant yourself that gift today. If you could do nothing else, grant yourself that gift. So I, and like most people, but all people are addicted to thinking. Sugar, alcohol's up there. It's more when you do, and I've seen this for myself doing hypno and seeing what happens in the brain with magnetic studies and things like that. Actually, sugar will light up more areas of the brain than heroin. And there's things like alcohol and cigarettes that basically create grey matter in your brain, so it doesn't allow you to operate at a complete cerebral capacity, even though humans are like at like 4 or 5%, and even like um, visionaries and you know, inspiring innovators might be at like 7%, but that there's a reason. There's a reason why, in a spiritual sense, and whatever term to a deity you're saying about being religious, whatever god or whatever name is fine, because it all comes back to the same thing, essentially, in my opinion. But we're nulling ourselves all the time, nulling ourselves down with addictions, with thoughts. And then whenever you watch TV and then you're sort of programmed to go and work and do this, do that, and pick up on negative stuff and this and that, you'll go home, eat food, sit on the sofa and just chill. But whilst you're in that on that sofa in that state, you're in like a waking hypnosis. You're basically going into trance. So you go into trance many times a day. It could be literally when you're running and you're at the gym or on a bike ride. You might remember times when you've been driving home and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm back. Didn't remember the last 5 minutes, because you're doing it on autopilot. So our brains are actually, I mean, we're more robotic and like a computer than, and our minds are more mechanical than any of us actually give credit to. And again, that's the way in which we're conditioned, and just falling into routines all the time. And we find it very, very hard to create new habits. We find it very hard to switch out of that kind of paradigm where we're like, okay, I'm going to put this down, I'm going to pick this book up. I think more and more self-development is it's not a new thing. The likes of Tony Robbins and gurus, or those kind of life coach figures, they've been around for such a long time. Oh, the love stripes is back. Need to block you. There you go, you're blocked. That's terrible, isn't it? Put her on timeout. Yeah, timeout. You horny little buggers trying to put porn on my stuff. I don't know why this stuff just keeps coming up. I should just go on OnlyFans or something then, shouldn't I? Then they can do whatever they want to me. To me? For me. Moving on. So, TV programs. Anyone that's watched any of like the news, mainstream news and all that kind of stuff, well, say anybody. The problem is at the moment, and how does all this happen? It's just slowly by drip feeding ideas and trends, certain words, certain ways of saying, well, you will do this, won't you? Why wouldn't you do this? And things like that. And you'd be like, it's a quantum question. It's a bit like with the whole don't see this, and that's what you look for kind of thing. So it puts the idea in there, it creates curiosity, and then your brain actually goes and seeks the answer. And because we don't actually know what truths and what's actually happening, we only know different versions and what's going to be more comfortable for us to accept right now, and then we make an informed choice. So that's how it's done. And how we can do the taking back control is by not watching certain things, by choosing to listen and watch other things instead. If you want a better body, you're choosing to not eat the chocolate bar or the processed foods and the microwave meals, using a bloody microwave, or as Nella Lawson would say, microwave, which I think is absolute genius, microwave. But yeah, all these things are not conducive for a body that's in homeostasis, that's thriving. Down to the water, and anyone wants to know about water, essentially that's my online business. As part of doing the educational, motivational space that I'm doing here, building my following, my social media channels, that kind of thing, and giving people insights, knowledge, support, all those things. It's also about making money because that's why we're here, right? And it's about a fair exchange of value for that exchange. Money is just energy. Where energy goes, wherever focus goes, energy flows. And you can say that the other way as well. Where energy goes, focus flows. Focus goes probably sound better, but anyway, I'm first saying it the other way. Where focus goes, energy flows. So things like the serenity prayer are super, super important. Grant me the peace to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is a game changer if you're saying that kind of stuff to yourself every single day. So we can be programming and putting stuff in our kids right now about, like, we had a nice conversation about the whole gender, gen the gender neutral or the binary, non-binary pronouns versus nouns. It's so hard to keep up with that stuff. But essentially, by us not just keeping it simple for our kids growing up and allowing them to do it, you're confusing them, and you're also programming them to be in this other kind of reality. Because, well, whether you think it right or not, I personally are, and this is no one can argue with me with this. Our souls are genderless. Simple. Our souls are genderless. So yeah, you can really believe in reincarnation or any of this deep religious kind of spiritual stuff. You can be and again, it's energy, so it's more feminine or masculine energy. What is feminine energy? Feminine energy tends to be more lovey-dovey, more creative, more nurturing. Masculine energy is action taking, simply as action taking. It's doing, more aggressive. You know, it is what it is. So we're all actually made up of both. So some people, and even I, but then I've, look at my history of growing up with a gay uncle, with a it was called androgynous back in the day, but now it's just trans. But I don't know how you can call it trans if you've not actually had the what's it called, gender reassignment. I think then it's trans. Or please correct me, am I wrong? Is it just trans before and after and during? But certainly beforehand, years ago, it was like the third gender, because this stuff wasn't around then, and it was androgynous. It was to like be a boy trapped in a woman's body or a woman trapped in a man's body, either or. But now it's like most things, there's labels for everything. It gets confusing. And I think really that's the important thing here. It's confusing. So with people's belief systems, with people's actual beliefs around money, what they believe in their own mindset to do with themselves, it's all been programmed into you from somewhere. And some of it you've liked, some of it you thought, oh yeah, I like that, or that person's pretty cool, so I'm going to follow them and I'm going to agree with that and I'm going to say what they say. Have you ever been on holiday for 2 weeks? When you come back from the holiday in 2 weeks, you're saying words that you never said before. I mean, I'm a bit like a sponge. So if I hang around with someone that's going top banana, top banana, top banana, or ish bitch, towards even the end of the night, I'll be walking away going, top banana. We are very, very susceptible for that kind of programming. And people know that. So at the moment, guys, I believe 30% of society, all of us, 30% of you are hypnotized into a narrative, being fearful, and into a narrative of trusting in the biggest conspiracy of them all, and that is that central GOV have your best interests at heart, that they are actually the people that you elect, are actually the people that you can trust and are doing things for you. That is the biggest amount of BS ever. It's a very capitalized system, a Luciferian, Babylonian system, and systems within it, whether it be education, whether it be the schooling and education, the monetary, the farmer, the employment system. It all encapsulates this giant pyramid scheme. And then, of course, if you look into Masonic symbolism and secret societies, everything's a pyramid with the all-seeing eye at the top. So 30% are hypnotized and going along with all of this stuff that's going on right now. Though I think, well, actually, no, probably 40%. 40% are hypnotized, 30% are going along with it just for the sake of doing the right thing, whether it be because of jobs and family and protection and that kind of thing. So 40% are pretty much on point, and yeah, no, we're doing this and everyone else is fucking mental. Fuck them. 30% are a bit on the fence, like and why wouldn't you be? Because if you're being programmed and hypnotized at the beginning to be like, you need this and it'll fix you, you get this and you'll be protected, and then you do it and it's like, actually, it hasn't fixed anything and it hasn't protected you. So maybe we'll do this. Okay, we'll do this then, so that we can do X, Y, and Z. And I know I'm being a little bit vague, but I have to be until I'm on different social channels because otherwise you get pulled away, essentially. So Amber down there. Hello, Amber. Hope you're well. Thank you for coming on and commenting. Throw us up some love hearts. Let us know where you are watching in from. Somewhere in the States, I believe. So you're up super, super early if you're in the States. Well, it depends where you are, actually. On average, I think it's about 6-7 hours difference between 5 and 7. So then you've got, so that makes up for 70%. Then you've got, is it 70%? Yeah. Then you've got 20% that kind of know what's going on and are just going along with it anyway. And then there's 10% people like myself that are actually very aware of what's going on, that have known for a long time what's going on, and are actually trying to wake as many other people up as possible. So the best way for me to do that, with my mission being, I want to help as many people on this planet to adopt a healthy, holistic mindset to get fit and healthy and to earn digital money. So whether or not that's just learning about how you can create your personal brand, because everybody's got this real estate, whether it be your Facebook page or whether it's a Twitter this or a TikTok that, you've all got real estate in this digital world. And metaverse is coming out, is here. You've got digital, like meta spaces kind of things. You can go in. I've actually joined the platform myself to jump on that bandwagon as well. You're very welcome. Amber's, it's 5 o'clock down where Amber is, and she's just saying she'd pop in and just wanted to thank me for her kind, encouraging words. Very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome indeed. Keep up the good fight, what you're doing, and you good work that you do yourself with trying to supporting and being the best you can be for other people. So, with the digital asset game, there's certain things that we can do well or not do. Personal branding, knowing about what it is your mission is and your passion and your purpose and what it is that you want to be and be the change in the world, because it's forever changing anyway. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen. You might as well be steering the sort of change you want to choose to have in your reality. And that's completely fine, but it takes a little bit of work. Because if you want things you've not got or never had, you just have to be prepared to do things that you've never done. And also, Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And well, last but not least, I liked Henry Ford's, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're probably right. So that's talking about belief systems and what we believe is possible for ourselves. So if 40% are hypnotized, if 30% are just going along with the herd, and 20% are knowing and kind of not doing anything, and 10% are actually trying to wake everybody else up, where do you fit right now? Where do you fit? Are you allowing yourself to be authentically and unapologetically yourself? Are you fanning your flames? Are you aware of people around you that are in your corner but not got your back? Now, that's huge. That's a massive change journey that I've been on in the last year. I realized after doing my NLP practitioner's course that the programming in society, within TV, within certain systems, and even the language that people use, disempowering language versus empowering language, where the victim mentality is rife. And people stuck in that victim mentality is rife. And then people pick up on the language. It just goes round this monotonous circle, and people never really get out of it. You end up having there can be evil people out there out to discredit and hurt other people, but then it's just negative people or pessimistic people that just look to the negative, or and that's just their belief system and it's kept them safe. So why wouldn't they continue doing that stuff? But hey, how liberating. If anyone agree with me, please throw in a hashtag liberation, throw in where you are in the world and throw up some loves when I'm telling you this. But how liberating is it when you shine the light and you realize that the sun is always shining from behind the clouds, and that the light emitting into this world and the energy coming to it is from you. It's from you. It's coming around you. It's through you. It is you. So shine as fucking brightly as you can on a daily, minutary, secondary level, millisecondary level, because that, my pedigree chums, you can choose. And when you do that, what will it do for you? Well, I mentioned the word liberation, liberating. It is liberating. It's hard work. I spend a good at least hour a day, at the very least hour, if not probably closer, on average to 3 hours a day in hypnotic inductions or listening to nice, soothing brain wave music, um, in some sort of beats, usually delta waves. At bedtime, I do hypnosis audios, and they've got delta wave music with them as well, because then it accesses certain parts of your brain, which creates a nice place. Brain patterns will not be so chaotic. It allows you to take more information in. It allows you to have less soaring thoughts because your brain's not in disease. It's not chaotic. You can have clarity of thought. You have better relaxation. Starshine mentioned earlier up on the chat that sleeping. Oh, you might have heard that. Oh, that was a big one. That was my Weetabix. And I'm wiggling around, guys, because I really need a pee. So I'm not going to jump off and have a pee and come back. I'm just going to just stay on for an extra minute and cross my legs. If you didn't know, I actually had a problem with not being able to hold my wee-wees for about 5, if not longer, years. And then I found out I had a severed spinal cord, and that was probably contributing to it. And it was a mindset thing as well. So when I used hypnosis and meditation, and all hypnosis, don't be afraid of the word hypnosis, because it's going into a restorative dreamlike state. It's basically all hypnosis or all meditation is doing is focusing on one thing, but not thinking. And excuse me, your belly, by the way, is your biggest brain. So maybe my belly likes what I'm talking about and saying this live is going to be really popular and people are really going to like what you're talking about today, because you're giving them lots of value and they need to hear this stuff. So I'm going to throw in there just quickly, get yourself along to the Personal Freedom Movement on Facebook. You can access it just by putting into any search bar or link, or even into a chat and then just pressing it. Personalfreedom.terrylifestyle.com. That will take you straight there. I haven't even asked you any questions or emails or addresses or anything like that to join the group. Just get yourself in there. There are 180 odd people in there just now. I want to get some more people in there this week. Give you some private education and knowledge, a little bit more personal stuff about me in there as well. I'm actually doing the behind the scenes of the 10 weeks fitness challenge I did, where I lost 5 kilos, pretty much got myself a 6-pack. Well, it's a 4-pack, to be honest with you. Now I'm bulking up. So if people are into their fitness and wellness, because my mission is to help every single person I possibly can adopt a healthy, holistic lifestyle and to get fit and healthy and wealthy using the streams of the internet that we have. And if I can take anybody on that journey with me, get into the Personal Freedom Movement, because that's what we're about. Predominantly, I tend to attract healers, light workers, consultants, coaches, and people that are awake. People that are awake, that want to make a change, that want to help other people. Or it might just be that you want to be around like-minded people, and that's awesome too. So we are addicted to thinking. 100%. We are addicted to sugar. 100%. We are addicted to the thought of money, what it can do for us trying to obtain it, what we have to do to get it. It's just an exchange of value, guys. It's a fair exchange of value, and knowing your own worth is a huge part of that, because if you don't know your own worth, you're actually going to do stuff that doesn't make you happy. And happiness starts from within, otherwise we go without. That is a given. We're absolutely addicted to food. We quite often, when we're at work, thinking about the next thing we're going to eat, when we can stop and sit down, how much money we're going to earn, what we can do with that money. Quite often we've spent more of it than we've earned. And so we need financial knowledge as well. I certainly do. 40 years old before I started having financial knowledge from people about what's truly possible for me. Now the world's changing exponentially. Knowledge industry is booming. So I'm on that bandwagon. I'm in that bandwagon, but I need to also have the belief in myself to monetize it and actually help more people. That's what my private group's for, not for the monetization. It's just to actually have more clear and concise and clarity-based conversations with the right people. Also going more present. So I'm actually live in 5 Facebook groups, on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, not on Instagram today, because I'm actually in Twitter Spaces. This is an audio room. I'm actually on Clubhouse as well. I'm actually waiting to be accepted as a creator on Fireside. That's another one. I'm going to be launching a podcast. I'm also going to be launching a subscription channel, probably going to be OnlyFans and a Patreon. One's going to be for one kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. And one's going to be for coaching and mentoring, that kind of thing, as a platform, and for free speech, because actually we can jump out people that want to talk about what's going on in the world right now, the narratives, the things to do with programming, why this might be happening, what's happening to our bodies, and what, more importantly, what you can do about it to take back control in your own life. And of course, the last thing, which I just mentioned because I said OnlyFans, and someone just hijacked my YouTube trying to put some online strips without clothing, love face, XYZ. 6 times someone jumped on that and I had to block them. I take it as a compliment, but we're addicted to sex. We are addicted to sex. And again, that's societal programming. Sex sells. So people that look good and they've got all this smuttiness on and nice little dresses, and the bloke's like, oh, yeah, I want to watch that. Or the women are like, oh, I want to look like her. So again, whatever you're being influenced by is whatever you're liking and you're actually participating with. So super important one today, guys. Money, mindset, programming. So what will it do for you? By being aware of this programming, it'll mean that you'll take yourself away from some stuff that's not serving you. You could actually reach out to someone like myself, or there's a plethora of free information, and free information is worth every penny. But when you pay attention. And when you invest in yourself, it's best, because we're talking about that fair exchange of value. If you don't invest in yourself in some way or in some sort of fair exchange, you're not going to implement. And it's super important in today's world, especially online, that we have certain things. We have community, we have accountability, and that helps with the environment for us to actually implement what it is we want to do. So change is going to happen anyway. So what sort of change do you want to be? Do you choose change, and what level do you choose it? You're steering the bus. You can take this journey wherever you want. You've just got to be clear about your goals. And that's what this week was about as well in the personal freedom movement. It was about me coming out more often privately. So I'll be going live again there today. And it could be, I'm not sure what I'll talk about yet. We'll see what some of the members say to me and what they would like me to talk about. I could talk about the deep hypnosis. Actually, it'll be a good one for today, being that I've done this. Deep hypnosis work, what it's done for me, what I've learned, what it's managed to do to help other people, where the origins from it, because it's not a new thing. The church hate hypnosis. Interesting. What is a church? It's a bank. Essentially, it's a bank. And the things like the Vatican Church are actually the biggest bunch of hypocrites on the planet. You know, I went to Catholic school, and I can't say anything derogatory against the pastors and stuff, because no one touched me up. No one abused me there. It's because us fat, ugly kids missed out on all the fun. That's why. Terrible thing to say if anyone has suffered like that. I have suffered from some sort of abuses myself over the years, so I can say that with a level of humidity. If you didn't laugh about more stuff, you cry more, right? So anyhow, shit happens, and shit happens often. But where your focus goes, your energy flows. So what are you it depends on where you truly are. If you're sleeping well, if you're doing good things, waking up, empowering yourself, priming yourself, your body, going for a walk, whether it be the gym, speaking affirmation, doing gratitude, whatever it is that works for you. But super important to win the morning, win the day. So on that note, I started at 11 or 11:11-ish, I think, but I will end up leaving on 1:11. Been a bit of a long one today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. So one last thing for you. Get over to the Personal Freedom Movement on Facebook. You can join it by going personalfreedom.terrylifestyle.com. Remember, if you don't go within more, you're going to go without more. That your mind is always listening, taking orders from you. So even when you're watching TV adverts and what you're consuming with the media or news or even negative people around you that are influencing you, it's all relative and it's all going in, it's all having an effect on you. So if you're catching this another time, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very, very much down here, down in the clubhouse and on Twitter Spaces. It's been emotional. Oh, we have to put an end the space. Goodbye. And I'm leaving you too. Goodbye. Thank you very much. God, that was cool. That's the first audio rooms down there. So last but not least, you're on your LinkedIn, your YouTubes and Twitter down here, and all the lovely private groups and pages on Facebook. Throw us up a hashtag replay. Hashtag replay if you're catching this another time so I can engage with you. Let me know who you are and where you are watching from, because that way I can answer back to you, have a conversation. We can help more people by seeing this information. If you found it interesting, if there's been something in particular that's actually resonated with you, please put that in there as well, because then I know what I can do more of to help, because I am on a mission, and my mission is to help as many people as I can adopt a holistic lifestyle and mindset, get fit and healthy and wealthy as we move into this digital age. And I'm doing my bit. So it's been 1 hour, 11 minutes. Love you loads. Don't forget, love yourself, be kind, and help one another. It starts with yourself. Help yourself first. And when your abundance cup is overfilling, and abundance just means more. So when you've got more and more of all the good stuff that you want, because you're being positive and you're shining the light in the corners where you want it, and not focused on the dark, negative shit that's being rammed down your throat, life can be whatever we choose. Adios.